Yes, I do indeed, Mr. BelleNOiR, in the bottom, or in the, how do you do them? In the 9 o'clock position on this map, we have the Zerg player Medulin making a few slight situational choices there that weren't optimum towards his playstyle. This time, hopefully he will do significantly better against the Protoss player, who my fantastic friend will introduce now.
And our fantastic friend is none other than the yellow Protoss EstMan spawning at the 12 o'clock position here on Metropolis. Now Metropolis, this is going to be a tricky map for, I believe, EstMan, because if ever Medulin gets to that stage where he can drag the game out long enough to have this base, this one, and this one, he will have a nice semicircle out on the map, cut the map in half, and then just mass more and more spines, and it's going to be pretty difficult for EstMan to break it. Now, one thing I have to mention, all this airspace on the sides, you can send warp prisms around there, do multiple drops here and here in the bases, try to bring that drone count down. Also, one thing to mention are these destructible debris here, thank you Justin, that you can open up as a Zerg. You can open up additional avenues of attack into the Protoss natural. That's part of the reason why all-ins on the Zerg side are pretty powerful on this map, because you need a lot more sentries than two, which you would
Absolutely.
ordinarily need on maps like Ohana and similar.
So, since this is a Protoss versus Zerg, there will be a little bit of downtime here, including the fact that Medulin actually got his hatchery down a lot sooner. Have you ever, when casting a game, BelleNOiR, automatically tried to split the drones for the player? Just
No.
click them and gone?
No.
You've never, out of reflex, just tried to play the game?
No.
You're a...
You know what I try to do whenever I watch a stream and I have it full screened in the max resolution, mostly the resolution I'm using? I try to click on the minimap to see what's there. It doesn't work, it just minimizes my Flash player.
I do that as well when watching streams. I'm consistently trying to have control over everything. That's just me in general, I believe.
Alright, first two Zerglings are making their way across the map. Are they actually going to? No, the Overlord has done it for them, but this Zergling is going to recheck the third. Either way, now as a Zerg, it's a little bit problematic to take this third, just precisely because of these rocks, and the third is on the low ground, which means an attack coming from this side, or from the top here, or even from your own natural here, you are going to be at a disadvantage unless you have spotting, and if there are stalkers around, your overlords are going to get killed, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to defend that base. And sometimes Zergs just fall prey to Immortal Gateway all-ins with sentries, or just War Prism Gateway all-ins, or Blink Stalker all-ins, or any other kind of all-in that the Protoss has in its arsenal.
Indeed, this map is a lot easier for sneaking a probe out, but if a Protoss is intelligent, he can just move it around the outskirts of the outer bases, just narrowly avoiding the watchtowers, which do cover a lot of the map. But EstMan's moving in, he won't see the third base, which at the 5-minute 50 mark will ring alarm bells for him.
Yeah.
And I would, if I was him, personally throw down one, maybe two more cannons, because this does look like a lot more solid play from the previous game if he's going for the 2-base Roach all-in.
No, I think he's going to be taking
Adding on the layer.
Oh, he is. Wow. I really thought he was going to be taking a later third base, but this does not seem to be the case. And having the 3 queens, he can spread creep a little bit more efficiently with that third queen, as well as contribute to the defense. Oh, will we actually see Mutalisks? We have 2 more gases just now popping at natural.
I believe the chance for Mutalisk might be slim. I believe this could be some sort of Infester play. 2-base Infester into a third base. Very strong for actually holding off quite a few timings. Or so I have heard.
Yes, but
Especially
not
with
the
the fact that
7-gate all-in that is coming his way. You can't hold that with fast infestors. You just won't have enough of them or enough energy.
Absolutely. But with 2 cannons put down, it will slow it down slightly, and with the amount of map control he has, he is going to be well aware.
Oh my god.
Oh, the Hydralisk Den is coming out. That will explain why there is the Queen, and the Hydralisks will be able to hold off any sort of basic all-in, as long as speed is researched, which it is. So EstMan is going to be having a lot of trouble doing damage to his opponent. These Lings, I would like to see them just stay around the other side of the all-in, move around at a different angle, and come in and pick off these pylons as soon as the engagement starts.
Yeah,
Very
most
important to have
definitely.
something like that happening in these situations.
Most definitely. And they can, with speed, they can run around like this and backstab the pylon. The queen maybe will, yeah, most certainly will go down. And this is the problem. This ramp blocked by 1 force field, which means Medulin only has access to half the number of units to reinforce this natural expansion that he would normally have. Oh, but the force field was late this time, and the Zerglings get in. But here come the Zealots. Do they have +1? I do not believe so. No, it was not researched. And there are the Hydras.
There are a lot of Hydras on the field, and Hydras well known for just being able to deal with almost any gateway unit. But with so many Zealots still behind the assault line, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. More Zealots coming out. These are Hydralisks on creep, so people talk about how fast Hydralisks are going to be in Heart of the Swarm. Well, this is the same speed, because they're on creep. This engagement can't go well for Medulin if the Hydralisks are consistently microed. And this is actually going very well for Medulin, despite our initial reservations. Hydralisks coming out at just the right time. We'll be able to push this back.
It is.
The Zealot count will not be high enough to deal with this. And now with Zerglings to tank the Zealots, everything is going to go perfectly smoothly.
Yeah, and you know, the thing was that EstMan did this off of 1 gas only. He's now adding 3 more geysers. So basically, this push died mainly because he ran out of gas. He could not afford to warp in any more Stalkers. He could only reinforce with Zealots, and all the previous Stalkers and the 1 sentry he had, which he was counting on to keep those forces in the main, died. And now he's adding on a robo in sort of a panic mode. He will try to get Colossus out very, very quickly. I would not be surprised to see a Nidus network as well. We have one of the Overlords nicely positioned here over this ridge for just such a type of play. But it looks like Medulin is not thinking about that at all. He's just pushing across the map with the few units he has, and I do not think this is breakable at this point in time.
With the Hydralisks, he can apply a lot of pressure to the buildings. He can take down the Forge. He could potentially even take down the Gateway. And the Forge hasn't even started researching the attack upgrades yet. There's no upgrades at all for his opponent. Oh, and here goes down the Nidus network, as you say.
I'm clairvoyant, guys.
This is going to be very good to see. But naturally, EstMan is getting out the Colossus as fast as he can.
Yes, he is. Colossus Den is on the way, but it is at the worst position possible, immediately scouted by the Overseer. And of course, if you have a couple of Hydras here and vision on the high ground, you can just snipe it. I feel like it's close enough to the edge that you can actually do that. Now the Nidus network finished. It's being loaded up. Where will the Nidus pop? Oh, direct! And he's building pylons there.
Right at the moment.
Will he react in time? The beep from the probe will give him warning that he cannot build a pylon there, and he attacks with a probe immediately. But this will be too late. He's pulling back the army instead of pulling the drones, and the Hydras and the Lings will stream out, and those units filing in one line will just start dying one after another. Colossi still miles away from coming out, but those Zealots, when they do make contact with those Hydras...
The Hydras pulling back into the choke very well, and a lot of more Hydralisks coming out. This will get cleaned up by EstMan due to the fact that he has a superior concave, and that was very expensive. 2 Nidus networks coming out is 200 gas, and then the fact that he initially had to place the Nidus network being 200 gas, and all he killed was Zealots.
But we have another Zergling run by into the natural of EstMan. Those Zerglings trying to do some magic, but an immediate warping of Zealots cleans that right on up. Excuse me, the excitement got to me. So, Medulin now trying to take his third base. If we look at the resources lost, we see that the Zerg is behind just by a little bit. So actually that did not go all that bad for him. Although I do think that the majority of gain he got from those trades was by defending the first push the Protoss made. First Colossus is coming out. Thermal Lens is not being researched yet. There's not enough gas for it, and will actually... Will EstMan try to take a third base? Yes, he's trying to. Too bad that Overseer there is not pooping creep, which is something you always want to do.
Absolutely, you would want to possibly leave something out there as an Overlord so that it can get the creep down. Or even just drop a Changeling, which would delay it by just a short while as well. But the Changeling, of course, does die to the probe, which is not optimum in any way.
It is not optimal, that is certainly true. So I think EstMan will just wait for like 2, maybe 3 Colossi, and then he will try to push or deny the third of Medulin, because he has to keep his numbers down. Let's look at the drone count. We are 50 probes versus 48 drones. Again, Medulin playing sort of like trying to play on even income with the Protoss. You cannot really do that in this matchup. You need to have the upper hand in economy.
Indeed. Medulin seems to be playing a lot like a more older-fashioned style of Zerg, where he's staying very similar to the income of his opponent, and expecting him to just go for a lot more aggressive plays. He needs to pump out more economy. He's going up to 57 drones, but his opponent is just keeping up with him. Medulin, I feel, seems too uncomfortable with how this is going, so he's consistently putting out more units than he should be.
Yes, indeed, and well, he's breaking down the rocks to his third right now as the push comes. This is what I talked about a little bit before this, just waiting for 2 Colossi and pushing, but Medulin is out upgrading his opponent here because EstMan did not have enough gas yet, since he started mining it so late and needed to put it into Colossi immediately to start any upgrades. So all his units are on 0-0-0, and this Hydras and Roaches have +2 ranged attacks, so those Zealots will start dying a lot faster than before.
Okay, so this engagement is going to be interesting to see with how the dynamic goes out, with how the units interact. Of course, the upgrades versus the capacity of the different units.
Yes.
It's going to be a matter of composition versus...
control, basically. Or macro. Because
yes, the split up is very good. A Shroud would come in, and if that manages to take... one side manages to take the Colossus, the other side just takes on the main bulk.
Oh, this is exactly what might happen right here.
The engagement's coming in, the force fields are strong, but that uses up all the energy.
If you can snipe the Colossi!
One Colossus down instantly, the second one's being focused, and these Colossus are all going to die very fast.
Oh my god!
That was superb control from Medulin, and it just tanked the supply of EstMan instantly. But the ground forces aren't very well remaining for Medulin, and there's another Colossus coming across the map.
Yeah, but there are 25 Roaches about to pop, and they're coming in right now. Also from the natural, look at this, and this army does not have long to live.
Taking out the Colossus instantly, very strong movement. EstMan is not holding up quite as well as he wants. He needs to stop moving forward across the map because he's going to be losing these units as soon as strong creep. Roaches with speed, very fast at catching up. 2-1 against his opponent 0-0. And EstMan still isn't even looking at upgrades. He's not taken the gas in his third base so he can move towards them.
Yeah.
And Infestors will now start coming out for Medulin, which will be a superb move. And the reverse is happening to the previous game. Medulin is controlling the flow. He's keeping everything going how he wants to, whilst EstMan is on the back foot, consistently a step behind his opponent.
Yeah, but I would advise Medulin to be a little bit more careful here. He's again getting a little bit too over-eager, producing a huge army of Roach and he will try to deny this third base. If he fails doing that, then he just threw away a lot of resources away for nothing, but You know, this map is a little bit different from Cloud Kingdom. Those rocks, as I said, that usually work against the Zerg can also help them as they do now. And oh my god, all the probes are going to die instantly here.
The probes going down. He's gone from 71 down to 47 probes in a matter of seconds there. EstMan almost instantly just tanking down to even supply as his opponent. And Medulin's just rotating around here, just keeping his units on the right flow. He even takes out a couple of sentries, and he's just going to focus down the Nexus whilst the engagement's going on. The engagement won't go well for him given the Immortal, given the sentries in the Colossus. He might be able to
But
take
the
out
third
maybe
went
a
down,
sentry too, but
and
the third
that's
going
the
down
important
for the pivotal
part.
And this is going really well. The Lings will come in, and these Lings will actually be able to clear up a lot of this army without force fields.
Yeah.
Colossus, not as strong against
And there's the
him.
GG well played, and Medulin evens out the series 1-1.